Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hyperconscious Podcast. Alan, what is hyperconscious?
Once you understand why something is the way that it is, now you have the power to change it. Great conversations with great people and great questions are the keys to the kingdom of unlocking your consciousness.
Every single action that you do starts as a thought. When you control the way you think, you will control the way you act, and you will control the way you live. That is hyperconscious. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hyperconscious Podcast is proudly sponsored by our friend and mentor, David Meltzer of the Playbook Podcast. He was kind enough to join us on episode 144 and 135.
Folks, it has become Kevin and I's mission in life to help you realize that the life of your dreams is right on the other side of you becoming the greatest version of yourself. Let us help you do that.
I rarely do these things twice in such a short amount of time, but you guys impress me. I believe in people that provide value and of our service. You two guys are on your way to huge fulfillment, purpose, and profitability, and I look forward to helping you both.
We appreciate that more than you know. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast. We hope. I was thinking of when I laughed on the last one.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed our latest episode where we were lucky enough to sit down and chat with Bronnie Ware. Today, we are going to do a 5-minute clinic on the word pride/proud.
I'm realizing in this moment that I think I like the old camera angle because I could look at you more.
You can look
and
at me.
We could be in rapport.
We can be in
without
rapport.
breaking my neck.
Just adjust your seat a little bit.
Yeah, but then we're touching knees when I do that.
Not like that. Like that
Well,
right now.
if you stay like that,
I'm going to stay here.
you're gonna, you're not going to look at the camera?
No, this is pretty strange.
Right, yeah, it's too
We gotta
close.
figure out some
We're going to
logistics.
figure some new logistics. But before we dive into this episode,
Yes! Tell them.
first you want to go to the hyperconsciouspodcast.com and click join #hyperconsciousnation. Folks, join that. We are up to 125 members, I believe. As a matter of fact, we had 2 yesterday, which is sweet.
Yes.
And we are posting in there every day. Basically, I try to take the most valuable content that I consume and bring it to the group in a unique way, and I know Kevin does the same. I also try to take lessons and stories from my own life and go live. We encourage you guys to go live in there as well. It's a great way for us to stay in contact, even though we're all super busy chasing our dreams.
Just hold space. I'm gonna give some shout-outs.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. My motto's always been, when it's right, it's right. When's Kevin gonna get back on this mic?
All right, so can I just move this whole thing?
Oh, for sure.
It's like a speech.
Shout-out time.
Shout-out time. All right, so shout-out to Tamara, Michelle, Mona, Caitlin,
You can't see.
Tiffany, Summer, Katie.
Summer's in the group.
Summer's in the group.
Summer, we're gonna talk to you soon.
Amanda, Syed, Michelle, Jeff. Okay.
Jeff's in the group. We know Jeff. All right, here we go. So I prepped some. Are you gonna talk about the event, man?
Am I going to talk about what?
The event, man.
Yeah, I'm
You're
going to
gonna
talk
plug
about it.
your
You
stuff?
you keep doing things that you're not supposed to do. I'm all tied up. My headphones are all tied up here. I'm
We
burning
apologize in advance for
Ladies.
this going off the rails.
God. Ladies and gentlemen, Alan and I will be speaking. We're actually going to be interviewing Catherine Minnie But Mighty Nash live on stage in front of a live audience September 7th at the Margaritaville Resort on beautiful Hollywood Beach in Florida.
Oh yeah.
The back of this hotel is actually like the beach. The boardwalk is right there behind you.
I know.
Beautiful venue. Evan Carmichael, who we have been lucky enough to chat with twice, he's going to be speaking as well. He is one of the most successful entrepreneurs we know. Terrence McMahon is going to be speaking on wealth creation. Eddie Panero is going to be speaking on mindset. And Phil and Wade are going to be speaking as well from Two Marines, One Mike. It's going to be a next level event.
Gonna be a game changer. Please join us. Okay, so I prepped for this interview. Here's the first question. Pride is an interesting concept. Like most things, it can be negative or positive. You wanted to do an episode on pride, so my first question is why? And what do you hope the listeners take away from this short episode?
So my goal with this is the fact that we just had Bronnie Ware on, and she's talking about regrets, and she's talking about looking back on your life and not being happy or proud of the way you lived. And I think a lot of people, if tomorrow was their last day, would they look at their existence and say, that's something I'm proud to leave behind? Also, another thing I told you I wanted to touch on is whether you're a man or a woman, imagine that you had a child and
Right.
the person that's dating your child is treating them the same way you're treating, or the same way you are. Like, that's how they're acting. Would you be happy if your son or daughter dated somebody like you? Would you be proud of that? Would you be proud of that person?
Great question.
And I think I think about that all the time. I think about that all the time. Like, that's how I've always said, like, I'm a good person. I've never had a problem with, like, a significant other's family because I think they know I'm respectful. They know I mean well. But I think there's a lot of people out there that don't, right? Are you proud of the person you are today? Are you proud of what you've accomplished? Are you proud of the way you hold yourself, the standards you hold yourself to?
So let's get vulnerable here. What's a time when you did something?
You're going to make me say it again, man?
What?
You're going to make me say it again?
Say what?
You know what I'm going to say.
What's a time when you weren't proud of yourself? You don't have to say the same one.
There's
You can use a
very
different
few, honestly.
one. Wow.
I hold myself to a very high standard. I think that that's one of the things I've always. I don't like feeling bad about the things I do. I felt bad about myself enough. I don't want to.
I have moments where I'm not proud of myself a lot.
Well, what kind? Give me one. Give me an example.
After the call with T-Mac and Eddie.
Yeah.
And I felt like the result was more important to me than the people in the room.
But remember this, your goal is, you say all the time, I will outfail everybody.
Everybody.
That means you'll be less proud of yourself than everybody.
Interesting. Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I think on the macro, I'm very proud of the man I've
No,
become.
I
But
think
I
it's
think in
right.
the micro,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think it's
Right.
a bad thing. I just think with me, it's been stuff that has tested not my identity, but my self-worth. We talk about the car ride where I wasn't so nice to that individual who was driving us.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that always stands out to me. I'm sure I had more when I was
You
younger.
definitely have more. You weren't proud of the way you handled the Fire Academy.
Oh, I thought we were using pride as like a. Oh, no. Okay.
Anything that you've done that you weren't proud of in hindsight, because that was the way you framed it, right? Regret. So, like, what's something that you weren't proud of, that you're still not proud of, that you now have improved upon because of that? You know?
Okay, so those two. I want to. Let me think.
Yeah.
Let me think.
Absolutely.
Let me think about.
It's not like we only have 5 minutes.
Give me some time, man.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, give me something else.
So for the listeners,
I'm gonna think while this goes though.
Perfect. So I will never forget when I went camping in 2015, and I showed up, and that year I had paid off $80,000 worth of school debt in 1 year, and I was so proud of myself for that. And the first thing I said to one of my friends when I got there was, "I'm celebrating." And he's like, "What are you celebrating?" And I'm like, "I paid off $80,000 worth of debt in 1 year. I'm celebrating tonight." And he's like, "Dude, don't brag." Now, in hindsight, looking back, this person was in a lot of school debt, and I didn't realize that me, being proud of myself also made him feel insecure. So I get why he said that. But my thing is this: if you're gonna do something really hard like that, I drove a 2001. I had to scrounge, and I didn't do almost anything fun. Like, I spent almost no money that year. I just saved and saved and saved and saved, with a few exceptions, obviously. But it was really hard to do that. Paying off $80,000 worth of debt in 1 year was not easy for me. That was really hard. I was proud of that, and I was trying to celebrate it. If you aren't proud of the difficult challenges that you accomplish, then why even accomplish them? I genuinely believe that pride can be your downfall if you think you're entitled to results. But I think being proud of something that you've accomplished is a wonderful thing.
Powerful.
Oh, thank you, man.
I remember you telling me that. So something I'm not proud of. This, I don't know if I've ever shared this with the podcast, the podcast listeners. I don't know. Not many people know this about me, actually. Okay, so I don't know if those of you on camera can see, but I have a scar on my hand, in the middle of my hand. You know that scar.
Yep.
When I was, how old was I? I was a senior in high school, I believe. Yeah, I was a senior in high school. Me and my buddy had been doing a little bit of drinking. I don't know if you remember Sparks. If you remember those?
Yes.
Yeah, they were the caffeine drink. Those were my jam back in the day.
Four Loko type of thing.
Yeah, they weren't good for you at all.
Yep.
But I got into a fight with my girlfriend at the time, and for some stupid reason, I hit myself in the hand with a knife. And it was bad, like far worse than I expected. I thought it might be like a little scrape, but it basically dug into my hand and cut one of my tendons 90% of the way through, and it was gushing blood all over the place. I was throwing up. So the next day I had to go to the emergency room, and I had to get stitches, and I was in a cast because they said my tendon might rupture. It was a whole thing.
Jeez, man.
So it ended my baseball career. That was my senior year, and that was when I was basically, if you're going to make a team, it's going to be on your senior year when you're like getting showcased. And yeah, that ended my baseball career. So it was really hard for me to tell my coach and my friends and my family that me being an idiot basically ended my career. So that is something that I, to this day, am still not proud of, and something that hurt me very badly in the moment.
So we're going over on time, but I do want to ask you, in hindsight, why do you think you did that?
Oh, I was looking for attention, for sure.
I love how transparent you are on
Yeah,
that.
I definitely
man.
was.
It's interesting.
I didn't
'cause
expect
when we're
it
a
to
kid,
be-
we don't realize that.
I didn't expect it to be like this.
Do you think it was a cry for help on some level?
I don't know. Well, maybe looking back, I mean, I don't remember where I was in life at that point.
Yeah.
But I know that I was looking for attention because it was something. It's stupid. Why would you do that? Also, this knife
Certainly not
evidently
logical.
was a Rambo knife because it was the sharpest thing. It just for context, if you're what's the word when you don't like bloody things?
Oh, geez.
Squeamish.
Yeah.
If you're squeamish, just listen less right now. So when I went to get stitches, they opened my hand up with tweezers. Like they literally stuck it inside my hand and opened it up to make sure there
You
was.
could see bones?
No, you couldn't see bone. There was too much blood. It was deep. It
Jeez,
was very deep.
Not an intelligent choice.
Not an intelligent choice, but it's not something I'm proud of.
Right.
Just to get back to the. But I think that's the point of this episode is like. There's a couple things, right? There's a couple things. If when you lay your head down on your pillow at night, are you proud of the way you treated others? Are you proud of the way you treated yourself?
Right.
Did you go through your entire day speaking badly about yourself or letting your limiting beliefs control you? Are you proud of the life you've created? And if the answer is no, then it doesn't mean you have to be mad at yourself. It means that it's time to make some sort of shift. This isn't about being super hard on yourself. It's not about hating yourself. It's not about being mean to yourself. It's about are you proud of where you are? And if not, how do we change it?
I have something that happened yesterday that will take very, very little time.
I doubt that,
it's
but go
right
ahead.
on that. So my sister posted, so it was the anniversary of my father's death yesterday. She posted on Facebook for the whole family a picture of his grave with flowers on it and the angel that she put on there. I reposted it basically saying that I will always strive to make you proud, speaking to him. And I got a lot of people who reached out, which was wonderful. One of the people that reached out, I believe, is a client of yours, and she had lost her mom. And she basically said, I think about that every day, like making her proud. And what was interesting is that I told her, I have no doubt your mom is proud of you. She just wants you to be proud of yourself. Because I realized that I was crying a lot of yesterday, just kind of releasing some emotions from some of the failures that I've had in my life recently. And I asked myself, like, would he be proud of me? And when I asked myself that question, it's very clearly, like my sister posted and she said, he's been proud of you since the day you were born. And I realized that all that really matters is that he would want me to be happy and proud of myself. And so that's the secret, I think. If you are living congruent with your highest values and virtues, you will be proud of yourself, and that is what the people who love you want for you. And I thought that was super powerful. So
I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, I do. We live in a life where everybody wants to showcase stuff for other people, and I think that's what being you might have all the friends in the world, you might have all the influence in the world, you might have all the money, you might have all the results, you might have everything at one point you wanted, but are you proud of how you've gotten it?
right.
There's shortcuts to wealth.
Oh yeah.
There's shortcuts to impact. Are you proud of the life you've created? That is an unbelievable question to ask yourself. Are you proud of the way you reacted that day in a certain situation? Because if you're not, that's feedback, and that's fine. You take that feedback and you make the changes with that.
Right.
But if you go your whole life without realizing whether or not you're proud of what you're doing or who you've become, you might wake up like Bronnie Ware's patients and realize, oh shit,
Right.
I did this all wrong. And we're trying to help you avoid that.
100%. 100%. Are you proud of the person you've become and the way you've treated others and the life you've created.
And be very honest with yourself.
Yeah.
It would be very easy for me to say I was a high school kid. I was dumb. Yeah, that was dumb, but I wasn't proud of myself for it.
Right.
I knew better than that. I knew that was a stupid decision. I ended my baseball career. My mom was devastated. She still talks about it
Yeah.
to this day. And obviously she's over it, but it's still one of those things. So I challenge you, Alan and I challenge you to ask yourself, at the end of a day, when you do something that maybe is outside of your beliefs, are you proud of yourself? Am I proud of the way I treated that person? Am I proud of the way I reacted? Am I proud of the way I'm living? Am I living a good example for my children? Am I proud of the example I'm leaving for my children? I think pride is huge.
Who do you love most in the world? Is that person, do you strive to make that person proud? And if so, all they really care about because they love you back is that you're proud of yourself. So this is a powerful episode. Strong work.
What do you want to do?
Work.
What do you want to do on Small Talks?
The next Small Talks episode will be on...
What do you think?
What are we going through that will help the listeners?
Burning down.
Is that a word? Burning down?
I don't think so. I close.
We could ask the group
my
again.
eyes. Yeah, let's do that.
We'll ask the Hyperconscious Nation.
We'll ask Hyperconscious Nation what they're going through and what they want to hear us talk about. Questions, comments, concerns.
I agree.
Same for you. If you're listening right now, please reach out to Alan and myself at NeverQuitKid at alazarus88 on the gram, or as we said earlier, head on into Hyperconscious Nation, and then you can ask questions there, and you can also mastermind.
We love your questions. Please reach out.
We do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this, and we will talk about whatever you guys want on the next episode, and we hope you will enjoy.
Talk soon.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for listening to another episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast.
Going hyperconscious will absolutely change your life, because if you understand why something is the way it is, now you have the power to change it. If you going hyperconscious with us has changed your life in any way, please share this episode with one of your friends, because the more people that go hyperconscious, the better this world's going to be for everybody.
And if you would kindly leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, that would help us make more people hyperconscious, and we would be greatly appreciative.
Thank you.
Bye.